Welcome, dear listener, to Bedtime Myths and Mysteries. Tonight you and I will travel together through some of the most quietly haunted corners of our world, places where old walls remember whispers of lives long gone, where the wind carries secrets down moonlit corridors and across creaking floors. Let your eyes grow heavy as we drift together through these stories, crossing borders and centuries without ever leaving the warmth of your blankets. Let us begin in England, where mist curls around ancient stone and footsteps echo through castle halls. In the quiet countryside of North Yorkshire stands the grand ruin of Whitby Abbey. Perched high on the cliffs above the restless North Sea, the skeletal arches have watched storms roll in for centuries. Locals say a spectral nun wanders the ruins in the moonlight, her pale form drifting among the gravestones. She is believed to be Constance de Beverley, a young nun who betrayed her vows for a forbidden love. When her secret was discovered, she was bricked up alive within the abbey walls. Now she is seen wandering the broken cloisters, perhaps searching for forgiveness or freedom. Sometimes fishermen at sea glimpse her ghostly shape high on the cliff edge, her white robes billowing like sails against the black waves below. From the windswept cliffs of Whitby we travel south to the city of London, where the Tower of London sits brooding beside the River Thames. This fortress has guarded kings and queens, seen plots hatched and executions carried out in shadows and daylight alike. The most famous ghost here is Anne Boleyn, the ill-fated second wife of King Henry VIII. Anne walks softly through the tower's stone passages, her head sometimes tucked beneath her arm, for she was beheaded on Tower Green in 1536. Guards whisper of seeing her near the site of her execution, or standing at the window of the Queen's house staring out into the fog. Some say they hear her faint weeping or feel an icy breath on their necks as they pass beneath her chamber. Leaving England behind, we cross the Channel to France, where the Palace of Versailles gleams with gold and mirrors that reflect centuries of royal grandeur and whispered tragedy. Amidst the splendor, ghosts linger. One of the most famous sightings is that of Marie Antoinette herself. She has been glimpsed in the Petit Trianon, her private retreat where she once sought escape from courtly life. In the early 1900s, two English women claimed they saw her there dressed in white and sketching idly in the gardens as if the revolution had never come. Visitors still report fleeting visions of a woman in elaborate gowns passing through doors that lead to nowhere, or appearing in reflections where no one stands. Let us drift eastward now to the misty forests of Romania, where Bran Castle rises sharp against the Carpathian Mountains. Known to many as Dracula's Castle, this fortress has inspired legends for centuries, though its tis to Vlad the Impaler are debated. Within these stone walls, shadows cling to the narrow staircases and echoing halls. Guests have described strange cold spots, sudden drops in temperature, and whispers that seem to follow them from room to room. At night the wind howls through the battlements, and some say you can hear distant footsteps that never reach you. Bran Castle's keepers speak of unseen hands tugging at clothing or doors that close gently when no one is near. From the chill of the Carpathians we cross continents to the Far East, arriving in Japan, where ghost stories are part of the breath of the land. In Tokyo stands Aokigahara, the sea of trees, a dense forest at the foot of Mount Fuji. By day it is hushed and beautiful, sunbeams filtered through endless green. By night it is a place of restless spirits, known sadly for the souls who have taken their own lives within its depths. Aokigahara is said to hold Yurei, the Japanese ghosts who wander untethered by the living world. Locals tell stories of eerie figures drifting between the trees, of voices calling softly to travelers who stray from the path. Some hikers leave bright ribbons tied to branches as guides to find their way back, but not every ribbon returns. Leaving the forest behind, we fly south to the island of Singapore, where the old Changi Hospital rests abandoned on a hill. Built in the 1930s, it served soldiers and prisoners of war during the Japanese occupation. Stories swirl of dark deeds carried out within its wards. Today the hospital stands crumbling, its walls covered in moss and graffiti. Adventurous visitors report shadows flitting down corridors, cold touches on the shoulder, and voices that echo through empty wards. Some hear the faint shuffle of boots and a woman crying in rooms where no living soul resides. Yet even in its decay, nature slowly claims the hospital back, wrapping it in vines and soft birdsong by day. Next we find ourselves in India, beneath the burning sun and star-studded skies at Bongar Fort in Rajasthan. Built in the 17th century, Bongar is famed as the most haunted place in India. Legends speak of a wizard who fell hopelessly in love with a princess of Bongar. When she rejected him, he cursed the entire fort and its people. The city was abandoned overnight, left to ruin and ghosts. To this day, the Archaeological Survey of India forbids anyone from staying inside the fort after sunset. Locals speak of strange lights, of voices echoing through the broken walls, and shadows that move just beyond the reach of lanterns. Crossing oceans, we reach the shores of the Americas, where haunted places are stitched into the folklore of towns and cities alike. In the southern United States stands the Myrtles Plantation of Louisiana, wrapped in Spanish moss and misty legends. Built in 1796, the plantation is said to be home to at least 12 ghosts. The most famous is Chloe, a slave girl who, according to legend, poisoned the family's children with a tainted birthday cake. Chloe is seen in a green turban wandering the veranda or standing at the foot of guests' beds at night. Visitors speak of cold hands brushing theirs, of faint footsteps in empty rooms, and of ghostly figures appearing in photographs that were meant to capture only the creaking old house. Further north, the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia looms grim and echoing with memories of its inmates, once a model of solitary confinement. The prison saw decades of suffering within its stone walls. Today, visitors on guided tours report distant screams echoing through cell blocks. Shadows flicker behind barred doors. Some feel sudden icy drafts or hear the shuffle of chains when no one else is near. Yet within these same walls, the past feels strangely hushed, as though the stone has absorbed every sorrow, every whisper, and holds them close like secrets never to be fully told. From prisons to lighthouses, we visit the St. Augustine Lighthouse in Florida, standing proud and weather-worn on the Atlantic coast. Built in 1871, the lighthouse has seen shipwrecks, storms, and tragedy. The most well-known spirits here are those of two young sisters who drowned when a cart they were playing in broke free and tumbled into the sea. Visitors have heard giggles on the stairs, shadows darting just out of sight, and the lightkeeper's footsteps echoing long after tours have ended. The beam of the lighthouse still sweeps across the waves, guarding sailors and perhaps the souls of the lost. Now we cross to the chill of Scotland, where the city of Edinburgh rests upon layers of hidden passages and vaults. Deep beneath its cobbled streets lie the Edinburgh vaults, once bustling with tradesmen and later filled with the poorest souls of the city. Darkness and damp stones bred secrets here, crime and suffering tucked away beneath polite society. Today, guides lead lantern tours into the vaults, where people speak of sudden cold spots, disembodied voices, and a heavy presence that seems to press against the chest. Some say they feel unseen hands tug at coats, or the faint brush of breath on the back of the neck. The vaults remind us that even in places where sunlight never shines, human stories echo forever in the dark. Traveling south again, we pause at Poveglia Island in Italy, just off the coast of Venice. This small island has been a quarantine station, a plague hospital, and later a mental asylum. It is said that tens of thousands died here, their ashes mingling with the island's soil. Fishermen avoid its shores, claiming they hear cries from the abandoned buildings. Visitors who dare to step ashore speak of shadows at the windows and fleeting shapes moving across empty courtyards. Though the island is closed to the public, the mist that drifts across its broken walls carries whispers of its haunted past to the mainland. Our journey now takes us to Australia, where the Monte Cristo homestead stands in New South Wales. Built in 1885, it is said to be the most haunted house on the continent. Stories speak of cruel masters, tragic deaths, and lingering spirits. Guests and caretakers have seen figures dressed in Victorian clothes peering from windows. Some hear footsteps on empty stairs, cold spots in warm rooms, and doors that swing open as if by unseen hands. Despite its fearsome reputation, the homestead remains a curious monument to a past both beautiful and sorrowful. At last we drift to the far reaches of Canada, where the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel nestles among the Rockies. This grand railway hotel opened in 1888 and has hosted royalty and celebrities alike, yet it holds its ghosts gently. There is the bride who died on her wedding day, tumbling down the grand staircase when her gown caught fire from a candle. Guests have seen her in her wedding dress gliding through the ballroom or standing atop the staircase as if waiting for a dance that never came. A friendly bellhop said to be Sam Macaulay still helps guests with luggage long after his passing, cheerful and loyal to the last. Now, as we return from this wandering tour of the world's quietest haunted places, feel the weight of centuries drifting from your shoulders. These stories remind us that every stone, every wall, and every corridor holds memories long after footsteps fade. Yet here in your own warm bed, surrounded by soft shadows, you are safe, wrapped in the comfort of your own peaceful space. May the old ghosts remain in their distant halls. May your dreams be calm, your sleep deep, and your spirit gently guarded until morning light returns. Thank you for traveling with me tonight on Bedtime Myths and Mysteries. Rest now and dream sweetly. Good night.